I want to go over some of the things that I use and the processes I use with line strings because there's a lot of depth in what you can do, and some of the tools are good, some are great, and then they get in your way and you need to turn things on and off. So I just want to kind of jump through these and let you know what I look at and see when I work on something. Now, I would use this for building data, or if somebody said, hey, take a look at this, I don't like this. So the first thing I want to do is come down here and I want to toggle line marking, and what that's going to do is it's going to turn on the elevations. Now, line marking can be changed in the settings with what you want to see in view display options. You can kind of run through and change these if you want. So we've got max of 1,000 line markers. That's usually okay for any kind of computer nowadays. That's fine. If you find things slowing down or things refreshing slower, you might want to drop that number a little bit. And this is at least the way I've got it set for this one. So I'm going to come in, and the next thing I want to do, and there's a 2D and 3D line on top of each other. I could turn the 2D line off, but Business Center just brings up a selection, and I've got the 3D line, and it accents it and highlights a line. And what I want to do is, let's just kind of go through and let me kind of check this. Let's say there was something that somebody didn't like about this, and I need to take a look and see if I'm hitting these things right. Now, what we've got here are top of curb elevations, and I'm picking out flow line elevations here, so you can see I'm 5/10 below. That's a 1053.25, and I'm at a 1052.75 here. So again, we're kind of looking at this at the same time for the first time, so I can give you an idea of how I go through these things when I have to review a job and also change and build data to start. So let's come in, and what I want to do now is let's just look at a profile view. So the line string's highlighted. I'm going to right click and I'm going to go open up a profile viewer, and there is a profile of this line. And the first thing you'll see is if you look up, matter of fact, look at this 1053.25 right here and look on the profile screen, you'll see that that is where the that vertice is, and you'll see it on the profile view. Well, if I run down to the profile view, and I'll kind of make these lined up, you'll see that I've got that kind of a double arrow that goes towards it, so I can find out where that is. So what I can do now, I've got surfaces set to rebuild by user. So when I change one of these, it doesn't change the 4 or 5 surfaces that our data engineer Michael Stallings did on this thing. So I'm going to pick on this and right click, and let's go to edit. And in this spot here, it's 1052.75, and what we'll do now is change this. I'm going to change to 1054, and as I tab out of it and then click on save, you'll see it changes this line here, and I'll do a Control Z to undo it, and you will see that it comes back to where it was. So if I'm running through this and clicking on these things and trying to edit or initially do an elevation, that's the way I'm going to do it. Now, I talked about in the article how I'll sometimes take this line and sort of give it an average elevation. So obviously right here I'm 1050 be pretty fair to get me close, because what I don't like to see when I'm starting out the line is something like this. So I'm going to take this one here and I'm going to change it to 0 and save it, and you'll see we've got this jump down here to 0 and everything else is up high. So if I'm trying to stay with this and work with it, I don't want that the rest of the line or the beginning of the line or something in the way. So I will, that's a Control Z to get rid of that. I will go in and just kind of give it an average elevation and then go in and tighten things up. So I've got a profile view, and I can toggle line marking, and I can also explore an object, which will allow me with cursor view. And if you see here, this is distance along. I'll get in the black background. Distance along is 17 feet, and my elevation is 1053.31. And what that allows me to do is just kind of chase real world, but also if I click on an area, look at what I have now. I've got an incredible amount of information that tells me what I'm doing. I see it shows an offset, and this is critical for if you're doing something where you come in and you want to see offset to a line. You'll see the distance, and then you'll also get information about the slope in this area. It's a lot of power that you can get just by running around and clicking and finding out what this thing is really doing. It's going to make your life a lot easier when you start using these tools to really dig down and find out what's in there. Thanks again, as usual. Questions, comments, always welcome. Appreciate it.